And so the point of this Q&A was to receive questions from people who really don't have a chance to ask the questions to priests of the Archdiocese of Philadelphia. When did you find out that you were coming back to Philly, and what was your reaction?
I found out January 18th. I was in Cleveland. I was the Bishop of Cleveland. But I had gone down to visit my family in Florida for Martin Luther King Day. And I got in on Friday, had dinner with my mom, went to bed. 8 o'clock in the morning, my cell phone rings. Is the Apostolic Nuncio, who's the Holy Father's representative in a country. So he's the one that does this stuff. And I have gotten calls. This was the third time it happened, right? So, but when he called, I wasn't surprised that he called because I chair committees in the bishops' conference that puts me in connection with him. So we have each other's cell phone, and so it was just a mere fact that he called wasn't surprising until he asked me where I was and if I was alone. And then I knew, because I had gone through this 2 times before, that's code word for you're being changed, right? And so as soon as he said, are you alone? He asked me where I was, and that one I didn't get too much. I said, I'm down in Florida visiting my mom, and and I thought we were going to talk about something that we had talked about 2-3 weeks before. Until then he said, are you alone? And then I said to him, in Spanish, because he speaks Spanish fluently, and we speak in Spanish. I said to him, you're not going to change me again, are you? He says, come on, I just got to Cleveland. Cut me some slack. And he kind of laughed, and then he said, well, I'm not. He says, but the Holy Father is. That's what he said to me. And then I said, I can't believe this. And I said, so where is he sending me now? I said, I wasn't happy. And he says, are you sitting? And he said, yeah, I was in bed. I'm sitting at the edge of the bed. And he said, he kind of took a breath. It was interesting. He went, I could hear it. And he said, Philadelphia. And I said, what? I said to him in Spanish, I said, ¿Ustedes están loco? Are you guys crazy? And I said, Archbishop, I was from there. I left there 8 years ago. And he says, well, I know that. And then I tried to promote other guys. So I said, there are other guys that are more experienced than I am. I've been a bishop only 8 years. And I says, if you wanted a Philadelphia priest, there's other guys other than me. And so I tried to push Bishop Thomas, and then Bishop Burbidge, and Archbishop Broglio, who's not from Philly, he's from Cleveland, but that guy's super experienced, and he speaks 200 languages and stuff like that, a diplomat. And he listened, and then he said, yeah, I hear you. He says, I hear you. He says, but the Holy Father's not asking them, he's asking you. And you're the one who has to respond. And then I said, well, Archbishop, it is what I signed up for. If that's what the Holy Father asked, that's what I'll do. And then he said to me, well, the Holy Father, the Holy See, now it's the Holy See. Who knows what the Holy See is, The Holy See wants to announce this sooner than later. Mm-hmm. And then I said to him, so what does the Holy See understand as sooner than later? And he said, Thursday. And I said, Thursday? In 4 days? I don't get back to Cleveland until Monday. And he says, yeah, Thursday. And that's how that happened. But they don't consult you, so when you find out, they talk to everybody else and their mother, but the individual, you're not spoken to, right? Mm-hmm. So it's different than when we felt called to be a priest, right? And you talk to people and all that type of stuff, and it's true, right? But that doesn't happen in the bishop world, right? So no one talked to me about being a bishop in the first place. It's not like they call you in and let's have a little care and share moment. It doesn't happen that way. It's really, it's like a minute call. There's nothing. It's a minute call, and they're not talking to you. You're not part of the process. You're not part of the discernment. The church now is discerning. You're not. You know, they're not asking you for your opinion at all. There's a bishop from Philly, actually, Bishop Coffey. He was called, and when he was called, and he told me that he said to the nuncio, well, can I pray about this? Which is a reasonable request, right? You know, can I pray about this? Can I sit with? And the nuncio says, Father, it's either yes or no. So that was challenging in a sense, right? I was sad leaving Cleveland. Very sad, actually, leaving Cleveland. Cleveland embraced me incredibly. I didn't know a soul in Ohio except Bishop Thomas in Toledo. I knew one person in the whole state. But they embraced me incredibly. The young adult community embraced me incredibly, and I spent a lot of time with them. In fact, my farewell, it was so quick, I never had a farewell in Cleveland. I just packed up and left. My farewell was actually with a group of young adults in someone's house. That was my farewell from the Diocese of Cleveland. And so I was sad leaving Cleveland, a little spooked about coming back to Philadelphia with all its challenges, because it has its challenges. The Church of Philadelphia has been a church in crisis for 20 years. And just spooked by the fact that, you know, when you're a priest of Philadelphia, someone else is the bishop. For me, it was Kroll, it was Bevilacqua, it was Justin Regali, it was Charles Chapu. It was not Nelson Perez. So that in and of itself, I couldn't wrap and still can't, actually. I just go day to day. Mm-hmm. I do my job day to day. But I can't wrap my head around that reality. I really can't. So I just do my work day to day as if it was a parish. I deal with it as a parish. But I think, you know, 10 months later, and then COVID happened, so I had all these plans of doing this, and 2 weeks later, everything shuts down. So that is great. Thank you, Lord. This is great. But I have to say, being here, the sheer joy of being back overshadows the challenges. Being back among friends, because, you know, I was here for 2/3 of my life, 35 years, you know, and this is where my friends are. So I'm back to, when you're a bishop in another place where you don't know anybody, they only know you in one way, and that is as the bishop of that diocese. And so you have two modes of operation. You're working or you're alone, because they don't know you in any other capacity, and you're like kind of an outsider to them. Mm-hmm. So it is a little lonely. But here I'm back to hanging around with friends and spending days with friends and the weekends at their house, and just like I did when I was a parish priest. And to them, I'm not Archbishop. I'm just Nelson. And what I always was, and that's really awesome. That to me, on a personal level, it's like winning the lottery. Because once I left in 2012, I never thought I'd be back.